It's 8 p.m. and here's our top stories in 90 seconds.
For the last week or two, we've actually seen the epidemic curve turn up, which is of concern.
COVID cases and hospitalizations continue to rise in Colorado. But even more concerning, vaccine supply is about to overtake demand.
This week, we've seen a pretty dramatic shift, and there's still about 1,000 appointments available.
We look at the new ways health officials are pushing for people to get vaccinated. Another dusting of snow moves through the Front Range and impacts traffic in the mountains.
More flakes in the forecast right now, but coming up we'll have some thunder and then what should be a really nice weekend.
Everyone deserves to feel comfortable in their own skin.
For me, it's just I don't feel comfortable on either end of the gender spectrum, male or female.
But for some, that journey to live as their authentic self is restricted in a binary society.
Free from my chains of femininity, of forced femininity, and I just will have regained that control.
Plus, a Denver police officer weighs in on how policing can evolve in light of the Derek Chauvin guilty verdict.
Certainly been a part of a system that we love and that we're trying to change and make more equitable.
And coming up later, frustrated tenants contact Denver7 after living without heat for months.
I pay over $2,000 a month. Yes, and I don't have heat, and it's quite frankly ridiculous.
Good Wednesday evening, and thank you for watching Denver7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. The snow just can't keep away from Colorado. This is a live look at our mile-high camera in downtown Denver. It is just a wet mess out there right now. Now, we have seen snow showers on and off all evening across the Front Range. Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson joins us. Mike, the snow will start to taper off now?
It will, although it just kind of keeps going, it seems like, this March and April. This is what it looks like currently downtown. We've had about 2 inches of snow down near the state capitol, a little bit less up toward the Westminster area, but it's a mix of rain and some snow that occurred earlier this evening. All light snow now. The heaviest bands have moved a little bit to the east of DIA, but there's a new one that's now down near Conifer, Aspen Park, Evergreen area. And so we'll get a few more hours of this snow coming in for tonight. And the temperatures range greatly across the state. It's in the upper 50s to the west and just around 30 here in the Denver area. So we get the snow showers tonight, 3 to 6 inches possible in the mountains along and east of the Continental Divide, north of Interstate 70. Rain showers coming up tomorrow, but warmer weather for the weekend. We have some 70s in the 7-day.
Thank you, Mike. Tonight, there is growing concern as vaccination rates are starting to stall across the country and here in Colorado. State health officials say they need to get vaccinated. The need to get vaccinated is more important now than ever because cases and hospitalizations are not slowing down.
For the last week or two, we've actually seen the epidemic curve turn up, which is of concern. Last week, when we looked at admissions to the hospital, there was many people 20 to 39 being admitted at 65 and over.
You can now just walk or drive up to the mass vaccination sites in Denver, Pueblo, and Larimer County without an appointment to receive your vaccine. It is one way the state is helping with access. ABC's Stephanie Ramos has more on how the federal government is trying to pick up vaccination rates.
Tonight, in the race to vaccinate, a new milestone. 200 million doses administered since President Biden took office, double his original goal of 100 million shots in the first 100 days.
We did it. Today, we hit 200 million shots.
And in a move to encourage people to get the vaccine, the White House giving a new tax credit to employers so workers can get paid time off to get a vaccine or recover from one.
No working American should lose a single dollar from their paycheck because they chose to fulfill their patriotic duty of getting vaccinated.
The country now heading for a tipping point. The Kaiser Family Foundation projecting in the next 2 to 4 weeks, vaccine supply will start to outstrip demand. In Galveston County, Texas, this vaccine site was ready to give out 5,000 daily doses last week, but only saw 300 to 400 appointments a day.
What we've told the state is this week, please don't send us any more.
In northern Alabama, they're seeing cases of the virus tick up, but vaccine demand is down.
As it's kind of dropped down to the younger population, it seems like they're a little more concerned and hesitant.
But tonight, new analysis showing the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines are also likely safe for pregnant women based on real-world data from 35,000 vaccinated women. As a CDC advisory panel prepares to meet on Friday about the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, the family of 18-year-old Emma Berkey, identifying her as one of the 6 women out of 7 million people vaccinated with J&J who suffered extremely rare blood clots. It's unclear if the vaccine is responsible. Emma was hospitalized on a ventilator, but is slowly recovering.
Emma's likely going to have to relearn to walk, relearn to speak, all of those things.
Even with the challenges ahead, Emma's family wants Americans to get a vaccine.
They see this as just a 1 in a million situation. They feel strongly that people should get vaccinated and not use this as an excuse or a reason for fear.
The number of Americans getting their first dose of the COVID vaccine has been dropping for several days now. Here's an example. On Friday, the U.S. was averaging 3.35 million shots a day total, and now we're averaging just over 3 million. White House officials say they're not exactly sure what's causing that decline, but they're trying to do everything they can to make it easy to get that shot. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Hackensack, New Jersey.
Stephanie, thank you. New tonight at 8, the Boulder District Attorney's Office has filed an additional 43 charges against the Kings Supers shooting suspect. 32 of them are for attempted murder, 1 more for first-degree assault, and 10 for prohibited capacity magazines. That brings the total number of charges to 54. Tomorrow morning at 10, the District Attorney's Office will hold a press conference to provide us more insight on these new charges. Greenwood Village police are asking everyone to be on the lookout for this woman tonight, Kim Lertjunthar Angul. She was reported missing last Monday, but she hasn't been seen in a month. Her last known whereabouts are the Bellevue Light Rail Station in Greenwood Village. The journey to live as our most authentic selves can look a number of different ways. For a transgender person, it means undergoing a life-changing procedure, but it comes at a high price. Denver7's Eddie Guajardo shows us how going under the knife will help them achieve authenticity and freedom.
Come here. For 2-year-old Elliot, love has no gender, no ground rules. Love is simply love. Mwah. He makes a splash and gives chase to a world without worry. It's a life Kit Taylor wants for their family.
That's me.
Kit was assigned female at birth and identifies as transgender and non-binary.
For me, it's just I don't feel comfortable on either end of the gender spectrum, male or female.
Kit's pronouns are they and them. For years, Kit struggled with who they saw in the mirror.
I look in the mirror and I don't see something that matches my internal perception of myself. Sort of like dissociation, disconnect.
When Elliot was 9 months old, Kit began taking hormones.
I really wanted to change the shape of my face, my voice.
A transition nearly complete.
It's just this one last piece that I need to deal with until I can sort of be myself authentically.
The last piece of the puzzle.
Top surgery, it's chest masculinization. They basically remove all of the breast tissue and will reshape your chest.
An $11,000 surgery not covered by insurance.
The language they have was very male specific, and they said that you needed letters from therapists saying that you identified as male, and I wasn't gonna lie.
It's why they launched a GoFundMe to cover the cost of the procedure.
They stop connecting with their bodies.
Sable Schultz identifies as transgender and works at the Center on Colfax, an LGBTQ community center. She says when transgender people aren't comfortable in their bodies, it can lead to a series of struggles.
Experience things like depression. They may experience social disorders around friendship groups. They may experience eating disorders, anything to have some level of control over their bodies.
It hurts me living in this body.
Kit suffers from scoliosis, a curvature in the spine, but endures the pain of a binder that flattens their chest.
It's like a really tight sports bra.
A temporary fix to reflect their inner self.
It causes me too much back pain.
A pain and perception they hope to relieve through surgery as the fund inches towards their goal.
It's going to make them so much happier in their body.
Helping piece together a new sense of comfort.
Free from my chains of femininity, of forced femininity, and I just will have regained that control, because then I can control what people see. I will definitely be able to be like my most authentic self.
A pride as pure as the love that pours out of Elliot.
Give a kiss.
Oh, a kiss.
You happy little man?
Man.
Now, Kit still has a little bit to go before reaching their goal for surgery. We will have a link posted shortly to their GoFundMe page on the denverchannel.com. Getting these surgeries is no easy task. Lawmakers across the country and here in Colorado are trying to limit access to health care. Last legislative session, House Republicans introduced a bill that would make it a felony for doctors to perform gender-affirming surgery on minors. That bill failed in the Committee on Appropriations. But programs like Echo Colorado on the CU Anschutz campus are trying to make it easier for transgender Coloradans to receive medical care. They meet with health providers in rural Colorado to teach them about gender-affirming care.
And we know that a lot of our transgender patients, recognize that there's not enough providers trained, particularly in rural areas. Many times we've had people having to travel over 100 miles to get gender-affirming hormone therapy or other types of care.
Echo Colorado meets virtually with health providers and gives real-time feedback on patients they're seeing. Dr. Mikkel Rothman, who you heard from there, says there are grants in Colorado for people to get gender-affirming surgery. Some private health insurance companies are also offering coverage, as well as Colorado Medicaid.
A fall 2,000 feet down the side of the mountain. What one skier credits for his miraculous survival.
We've got to do better. We've got to do more.
What comes next following the guilty verdict of Derek Chauvin?
We have some trust to rebuild, and we have some pains to heal, and we have some hearts to mend.
So a little more snow out there for tonight, some rain showers for tomorrow, but I think you're going to really like the weekend forecast.
And coming up later, tenants left without heat for months and nowhere to turn.
It was 43 degrees in here in February. Yes, it was 43 degrees in here. It was it was criminal.